So Trinidad and Tobago, it's Friday. It's the weekend. You know, we as Trini, we love a party on a weekend. From Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we end up by Cora and closing off the week. That's how we like it. But nevertheless, viewers, it's a pleasure to be here with you all this Friday night in Trinidad and Tobago. So here it is. The 9th Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has again pledged to serve everyone regardless of political affiliation. But she did this in her last 10 years. She didn't care who was who. She didn't care the color of your skin, the texture of your hair. She didn't care whether you're from Trinidad or not. She treated everybody equally. It's just that we in Trinidad, we party hungry. That is what happened to us. We party hungry. We would not look for betterment. You know, some of us don't like to drink milk, you know. We rather swallow our boulders and call that good. Or some pebble, and then complain after that. But nevertheless, Kamala stated that she will be the PM to all. Listen to Kamala.
That is why I dedicate my term as Prime Minister to the forgotten people of our country. If you're living on the fringes of Guanapo, if you're living in the coconut estates in Icacos, if you're in Kernahan Village, if you're in the river swamp, on the coastline in Charlottesville, or in the lagoons of Barkpo, I see you. We see you, every single one. If you're UNC, if you're TPP, PNM, PEP, or any other affiliation, I see you. You'll be treated equally and fairly. I made a promise that everybody will win, and I plan to fulfill that promise.
Trinidad and Tobago, from 2010 to 2015, whether you were black or white, as long as you was living in Trinidad and Tobago and you had a child going to school, that child got a laptop. What you all got from 2015 to 2023? Tell me, somebody say something. You see, I always tell people, you look for betterment. That is what you look for. You look for betterment. You know, if your neighbor cursing you every day, one day you get fed up and go in the police station for him. Why? Because you're fed up of the cursing. Oh, my child hearing you every day you're cursing me. My child going to school when exam reach, the child cannot focus because you're only cussing and cussing and cussing. And you look to please yourself and stop the noise and look to get up to a peaceful morning by making a report in the station. It's the same thing. But then again, not much people have the capacity to understand beyond something. Not much people have the capacity to understand. There's a better life. All you have to do is get up and work. That is all. Imagine some people rather sit down on the block whole day. They rather sit down on the block whole day. They rather go and rob somebody. And you know what they're going to say? It's a hand of work, but I can't work for that 300 for the day now. I rather rob somebody. But when a man gunned down your child now, for $300, he wrong. You should have called the police. You didn't have to kill him. But me, I killing you stone dead. Me asking you, I'm telling you. However, she warned that patriotism does mean staying silent to eat our food, while the poor and the working class are being abused or taken advantage of. Tomorrow, Saturday, May 3rd, Kamala will be choosing her cabinet members. She further added that in 6 months, under the new UNC government, you will live in a safer and happier TNT. Listen to this.
On Saturday, we will swear in our full cabinet, and next week we will outline our plans for the coming months. 6 months from today, under a new UNC government, you will be in a safer and happier place in TNT. You will see what happens when a government cares. We'll work to make you and your lives better. That is our promise to you. We have done it before, and with your help, we will do it again.
What I gathered from that Trinidad and Tobago, that little speech there, a safer and happier. Safer for me, right now, crime need addressing. Number one on the agenda. Number one on the agenda. And if we have a commissioner of police and a minister of national security working hands in hands on deck, Trinidad and Tobago will be a safer place. Safer, technically, means less crime. Little or no crime at all. Police station in the community. Officers will get to work and start cleaning up the community. Addressing Prasad Bisasa, President Christine Kangaloo said that her appointment is once again historic. She said being sworn in as Prime Minister for a second time is an occasion significant for women. Listen to this.
In your case, Madam Prime Minister, your appointment is once again historic. You have now been appointed as Prime Minister for a second time. You are the only female in our country's history to have been appointed Prime Minister and the only female to have occupied that office twice. The occasion of this, your second prime ministerial appointment, is significant for women. This afternoon's swearing ceremony is also significant because it is the highest demonstration of our country's democracy at work and of our country's maturity in effecting a peaceful transition of power.
Congratulations again. Now of Trinidad and Tobago. What was notable during the ceremony was the Prime Minister's decision to swear on the Constitution of this country and not a holy book while taking oath in office. Speaking afterward, Prasad Bisasa explained that every creed and race finds an equal place, and she did not want to choose one holy book against another because we are all equal in the eyes of God. Kamala.
Why did I take my oath on the Constitution? We say here every creed and race find an equal place. And I didn't want to choose one holy book as against another because we are all equal in the eyes of God. And so I took the oath on the Constitution rather than one holy book. Because all the holy books, all of us, is just one God. We're just one race, the human race, and one God. So I thought that was best rather than selecting one of the holy books because I subscribe to whatever words we use it, whatever way we say to one God. So the Constitution, which is what I promised to uphold the Constitution and the law, that's why I took oath on the Constitution.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we have a female as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Hold on. Newly appointed opposition leader Penelope Beckles Robinson is looking forward to this next phase within the People's National Movement. She was officially appointed as opposition leader on April 30th after her nomination was secured by a narrowed 7-6 vote among the PNM's 13 elected MPs following the party defeat in the 28th of April general election. She described the step she will be taking moving forward. Listen to this.
Well, the first thing would be to meet with my members of parliament as well as the senators appointed, look at a post-mortem, basically of the elections. There are two younger members, Christian Birchwood as well as Kareem Marcel, but there's a very experienced team. I mean, with Minister Imbert, I've been in the parliament for quite a long time. So there's an experienced team, and it's a question of ensuring that we give the best support and guidance to our two colleagues, our two new colleagues, and as well as the 6 senators.
She also acknowledged that there would be great expectation since the PNM was moving from 22 MPs to 13 MPs. Beckles.
It's 9 less. I have had the good fortune of being the leader of opposition business in the Senate, with 5 other colleagues, and at that time, having Faris Alwari, Terence Dial Singh, Shamfa Kojo, and Fitzgerald Hines. It was an extremely powerful and successful team. So I just want to say to my colleagues that yes, we may have reduced in numbers, but that does not in any way, or it shouldn't in any way, affect our ability to be able to perform effectively in the parliament.
Beckles Robinson said she would have no objection to meeting Pasal Bissessa to find common ground on issues, as she intends for the PNM to be a responsible opposition. Best word she could ever say. Listen to this.
As a responsible opposition, certainly if we believe that the need arises for us to meet with the Prime Minister on certain areas, yes, definitely. I mean, I will meet, of course, with the Parliamentary Caucus, get their views, and as a team, certainly move forward as it relates to that. I think the people of Trinidad and Tobago expect, because when you talk about governance, governance is not just the government. Governance, of course, includes both the government as well as the opposition.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, it is the best thing I've heard. That is news. So know that the opposition wants to sit and talk to move the country forward. Moving forward. That is what we need. Cooperation. Yes, you are the opposition, but at the same time, you live right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Right here. Your business is here. You serve the people here. So, I wish Penelope Beckles all the best in being a female that govern the opposition. Which opposition? The PNM in Trinidad and Tobago. Congratulations to her on her appointment. The opposition leader said, traditionally, she got 9,000 to 10,000 votes. But recognize the public is now a lot more honest. She said people were also a lot more conscious as voters. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. I've been saying this over and over. You are the one to demand better. You are the one. You see this 1 inch in your finger? This 1 inch? Every 5 years you hold the power. Every 5 years to vote a party in or out. And I'll tell you something. You not just have this 1 inch finger with power for 5 years, We could step up as a people in our country and demand things, Look, for a number of months, I have been demanding, what is the union doing for Trinidad and Tobago citizens? What is the union doing? If we need rice price to drop in Trinidad, the union in Trinidad and Tobago have thousands of people under their hem. All the leader have to do, you know what? We can't take the price of rice anymore. And I'm bringing out my people to protest. Why? I am a union leader. And my workers and them, the people I represent, they cannot pay that amount for a bag of rice anymore. And because of that, I being a leader of the union, which my workers pay a dues, that put money in my side, my pocket, I will stand up for my union. Let me tell you something. For months I've been telling the union that leaders, all of them in Trinidad and Tobago. What's the outcome? No. Sense get into the big head. Sense got into the big head. We need to cooperate. Were they doing that all the time? No, they were not doing that all the time. You know what I was doing? Only for a specific purpose, they would come. Only work-wise. But you don't need a union leader only for work-wise. Because when you get your money and you go home, that is it, grocery taken 3/4. So why not the workers come together, the union members come together, talk to the leader and protest? I've been saying this for months. Look what happened to the election time. Unions start to gather around now, start to talk their talk. They should have done this years ago. Years ago. But as I say, the capacity of your brain power to think beyond, they don't have it. They don't have it. It's only when crappos start to smoke the pipe and they realize they can't get water 7 days for the week and only 2 days they're getting it. You know, all of them decide to come together now. I've been saying this for months. But nevertheless, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back from this break, we're going to hear about John Jeremy return as the Attorney General under the UNC for Trinidad and Tobago.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, John Jeremy, Senior Counsel, was sworn in yesterday as Trinidad and Tobago new Attorney General at the President's House, making a historic return to the public office under a different political banner. Jeremy, who previously served as an Attorney General under Patrick Manning's People's National Movement government from 2003 to 2007, and again from 2009 to 2010, is now the first person to hold the position under two political parties. After taking oath, Jeremy said his return was both an honor and a serious responsibility. He acknowledged the concerns about events during previous PNM administration, but declined to go into specifics. Jeremy.
History, of course it's an honor, but it comes with a huge responsibility. I really meant what I said on the campaign trail, that I feel that Trinidad and Tobago is at a point now in its history, an inflection point, and that we are pretty close to the brink of disaster. That is my feeling. The AG's office, of course, is a rule of law office, and there are some things that have taken place which, over the last weeks in particular, and even stretching out beyond that, over the last the government's term, which I'm very concerned about.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Jeremy, who previously served as the AG under Patrick Manning, and then again in the PNM, and have always been there in the PNM as the AG. Now he's in Trinidad and Tobago, Attorney General under the UNC. So the man have to have some form of credibility. He have to have some form of credibility to be there from 2003 to 2007, and again from 2009 to 2010, and now in 2025 going forward as the third Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago. The man have to have some kind of merit, some kind of trust in him. The PMs have to have in order to appoint him again. Now, Jeremy outlined several issues he hopes to address, including a laundry list of civil litigations involving former government officials. He warned about the risk of politically motivated civil action and said he would examine those cases closely. He also raises concerns about the government spending on private legal affairs. Oh, finally somebody said something. Listen to the attorney.
At everything, and in particular, I'm bothered about the fact that, as I said, I don't want to get into details this afternoon. I certainly don't want to put enmity between myself and my colleagues. But the fact that $1 billion is paid out to attorneys at a time when the rest of the society is suffering, that is something that causes me disquiet. I've had a civil practice, and I've practiced at the University of West Indies. I think that some adjustment must be made in respect of that.
On crime legislation, Jeremy was blunt in his assessment that he was unhappy with the PNM's legislative agenda for the past 10 years. Imagine this man get fed up. This man get fed up. The Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago, LATT President Lynette Sibaran also congratulated Jeremy on his appointment, acknowledging that the pivotal role the office plays and the significant challenges that lies ahead for the legal fraternity. So Trinidad and Tobago, finally, someone has spoken out. Finally, an Attorney General for Trinidad and Tobago. Finally, an Attorney General who is unhappy with the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. Finally, an Attorney General to look into large sums of money being paid for private lawyers. Finally. So while the people in Trinidad and Tobago only getting 4% and begging for meetings and begging for negotiations, imagine the pilot in the country had to beg. Imagine that. To tell you how things going so bad in Trinidad, the pilot had to come out and protest for their money. Port workers have to protest for their money. Imagine that. Hey, if police had to come out and protest for their money, what do you think would happen to Trinidad and Tobago? If the fire service had to come out and protest for their money, what do you think would have happened? If teachers had to come out and nurses had to come out and doctors had to come out, what would have happened? When the Prime Minister, together with 900 high-ranking officials, got an increase in salary, the doctors and the nurses started to say, if them could get a pay raise, we want a pay raise. We saving life all over the government in the country and we in a mess. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed. Great program as usual. And firstly, I want to congratulate the new Prime Minister. And I see she got very emotional when she talked about the poor and so on. You know, she got very emotional. So I hope she will do a good job to alleviate the suffering of the citizens of this country. And I want to say that my friends called me from foreign and they asked me if this swearing ceremony, where it took place, if it was in Uganda or Trinidad. So I told them, I said, no, this was in Trinidad. Because what they are saying, look, when we look at the security apparatus there, everybody in security uniform, it didn't reflect the national anthem, every creed and race find an equal place. They saw one race in uniform there, members of the defense force, and I think this was disgusting, this was a disgrace to this country. And again, this country is a religious, multi-religious society where I didn't see the imam, I didn't see the pundit, I didn't see anybody from the spiritual Baptist at that ceremony. I saw one person. So again, this must be explained to the citizens who arranged that celebration there and why we didn't have a reflection of the national anthem. And this is a big issue in this country and it has to fix, because Rowley revoked the appointment of Klongemba, that laughing guy who laughed at us. Correct. So today we are laughing at him, and that girl Dolly, the Minister of Education, and I don't know if the citizens of this country knew what she did, you know. In Parliament they passed a law, they will appoint teachers, they will interview and appoint teachers for the denominational schools, the board schools. I don't know if the citizens of this country are aware of it, you know. So they could have, long ago, the board school will interview their own teachers and then send the list, the name to the Ministry of Education. They revoked that and it became the opposite. So they could have hired somebody, a gangster, a notorious drug lord, and say he overqualified and send him to Latch McGill School. This is what they did, you know. So they paid the price for it, they paid the sin for that. So I hope this new government will strengthen the laws with reference to the denominational schools, that they must never ever interfere with that, because they wanted to destroy education. Mr. Saeed, you provide this platform for the citizens. You played a great role in what happened today in this country. You keep up the great work. God bless. And if we didn't have it yesterday, we will not have it today. And if we don't have it today, we will not have it tomorrow. We must talk about history to make this country a better place and to move this country forward. Mr. Saeed, God bless you and your staff. Keep up the great work you are doing.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, Tunapuna constituency have stated that a high crime rate and a despair and desire for a change in representation led to former MP Esmond Ford election defeat. This is from Tunapuna, eh? Ford has served as MP for 10 years and was known as a down-to-earth politician who earned 6,947 votes. well behind the UNC, Roger Alexander, who assumed or got 8,466 votes. In Tunapuna, residents Nyla Evander said crime and safety were major issues that had not been addressed for years. Listen to this.
Some of these people, they're just telling us, the people, what we want to hear, and they're not doing what they say they would do. So all of that is in, why people maybe say, maybe give ERS, yes, and give somebody else a chance.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Another Tunapuna resident said crime was a significant challenge affecting private citizens. And he referred to his own experience of being robbed at a work site in Mausika. Listen to this.
Crime is a big thing around here because everybody getting robbed. I myself get robbed. You understand? So I get robbed $4,000. I get a knife to my throat.
No, viewers attempted to contact Ford for a response yesterday were unsuccessful. But nevertheless, hopefully we shall get him in the coming days. Elected Roger Alexander also said his success was due to his commitment to meeting with as many residents as possible during his walkabouts to hear their concerns. He said crime was one of the most common complaints from residents. Listen to this.
I think it's a wider conversation of the incumbent becoming unpopular, the incumbent becoming a person who's not satisfied with the status quo and want to change. And I mean, that is what is reflected in the results.
Crime a major issue in the area there, and there was also a percentage of neglect, where persons felt that the previous party had left them there after collecting their vote.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the Tunapuna residents are also looking for change. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers. It's that time. But when we come back, we're going to hear Rowley revoked appointment of Deputy Dolly and Imbird. I wonder why when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan? Only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley said he is one of the greatest leaders in the PNM in Trinidad and Tobago. But nevertheless, he said he have left Trinidad and Tobago in a better place than where we were. That's his words, not mine. He said his government is not closing down Petrochemical Refinery. Boom! Espinay said, don't call me 2 o'clock in the morning to ask me how many going home. All of them going home. All of them. Listen to this now, viewers. In his final act as political leader of the People's National Movement, PNM, Dr. Keith Rowley has revoked the appointment of Dr. Nyan Gatsby-Dolly and Cluggenbert as deputy political leader of the party. I wonder why. Why is this? The revocation was outlined in a letter dated April 30th, 2025. No further explanation was provided for the decision. The move comes after a wave of significant leadership changes within the PNM. Dr. Rowley will no longer be the political leader of the party effective from today, May 1st, 2025, ending his 15-year tenure at the helm. Also stepping down was Stuart Young, who resigned as chairman of the PNM, and in addition, Rohan Sinanan, who resigned from as deputy political leader. I wonder why? What you all resigned for when you were there for 10 years, talking crap to the public? Why not go on the opposition and face them now? What you all running for? Oh, but then again, you all was appointed minister. So you all know how to talk to people or how to address situations. Power went all your head over. Sad. Rowley stated that the interesting thing to him about April 20th general election was losing the Point Fortin seat. He stated that the people of Point Fortin voted against a government who built the Point Fortin hospital and voted for a government who got caught up in an OAS contract scandal. Listen to this.
Because the most interesting thing to me is that we lost the Point Fortin seat. Because the people of Point Fortin in that seat, somewhere in Point Fortin, can't say they don't know what the UNC did with respect to shoveling public money out of the treasury into a contractor hand in that highway, and how this PNM government went about getting that money back, bringing it back into this country, building the highway to Point Fortin. Point Fortin got a new hospital. They got significant improvement in the sporting venues, creating employment around Point Fortin and so on. But I'm not saying that that means that she voted for the PNM. But what it really meant is that they voted against the government that brought back the money that was stolen by voting for the people who had stolen the money. Isn't that a hell of a thing?
This is why Trinidad and Tobago, this is why they do this. Now, listen carefully. Dr. Rowley said they voted. They voted. It was the people's choice. Oh, we bring back the money that was missing from the UNC. Okay, no problem, good. We losing, or we can't give our account. Listen careful. Listen to me carefully. In Trinidad and Tobago, 2.6 billion to $3 billion is missing. Why is it missing? The Auditor's General Office can't give account for this money. That office is responsible for the tax money being spent. Klangenbert said it was an error. A check clearing system at central bank caused an error. But yet they carried Jayawati Ramdas straight to the England Privy Council. What did those councillors said? How come the minister is not being investigated? Bombshell. That is one. Number two, we have Dan Paul came up now on a platform and said no money is missing. Yet we have the Auditor's General Office still cannot give account for that. But no money is missing. No money is missing. So if the Auditor's General Office cannot give account for that, and them two men saying that the check clearance system made an error, why the hell the Auditor's General head is not in central bank only to check that system alone? Come Trinidad and Tobago. Watch man. Side may be looking dotish. Side may be looking stupid. Side have a bald head here, no nothing. I'm going to tell you something. It's 30 years I am in finance. I have 3 lending financial institutions in Trinidad and Tobago. I am the president of Real Talk Credit Union. Have business in Guyana. What are we doing in Guyana? Financing. But you want to come up on a platform to tell Saieed, oh, Saieed is just a check clearance system caused an error. The money ain't missing. Why? Jayawati Ramdas, the head of the Auditor's General Office, cannot confirm that to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Why? It's 30 years experience I have in finance. That is why I have 3 financial institutions lending money. That is why I am the president of Real Talk Credit Union. Oh, that come good when I look coming to me, boy. Come damn good. Come damn good. You know why? I'm going to tell you something in Tobago. You know why I am not a politician today? You want to know why? I can't lie for the public. I can't lie for the public. And beside that, the length my hand is, to tell you how long my hand is all over the world, if I go into politics or join a political party, it will shorten my hand. I wouldn't be able to reach the amount of people I'm reaching today. Call a good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend.
I am having a wonderful few days, and I am continuing to have more wonderful days. But by the way, I need a big favor from you. Could you get in contact with Mr. Rowley? I have a question for him.
Tell me.
Rowley said that he left this place in a better condition than he met it. Saieed, I would like to get some of that high grade he's smoking.
Hey, caller.
That's great, eh? Okay, go ahead, Saieed.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, that ought to be some real high grade in there. That height, nobody in Trinidad carries that height here. But nevertheless, Minister of Trade and Industry, Paula Gopi-Schoon, also confirmed that with a mixture of youth and experience, the People's National Movement will eventually find its place back in governance one day. Listen to this.
In terms of
party mobilization,
I'm a PNM. I am a PNM always. From 2000, from the year 2000.
Do you have faith that the PNM can rebuild itself?
Oh yeah, man. It's a great party. And I mean, I'm one of the older ones, but I expect the young ones will come forward, and we have a mix of youth and experience, and I'm sure that we'll find ourselves back in power. But of course, as I said before, I'm one of the older ones.
Trinidad and Tobago, I also want you to understand, because of that individual there, 25,000 US went to our account, some part of the world. Already forget that or what? 25,000 US went somewhere in Europe, I believe, to a company. To a company that the cyber unit in Trinidad and Tobago can't even find them. And we saw up in there, we're taking the cyber unit department. But we couldn't trace that 25,000 US that was sent to our company. That is what you call a high level of mastermind. So I want to ask you tonight, if the cyber unit in Trinidad and Tobago is so great in finding Clongenboat phone when it was lost, how the hell they couldn't trace where 25,000 US went? Well, talk now, man. Talk now, man. Call her good night.
Saeed, Mr. Saeed, far as this country is concerned and far as I am concerned, whatever those guys say is no longer relevant. This blame game thing, he lost election.
Correct.
Still blaming people for this and blaming people for that. This blame game is not going to work for Trinidad and Tobago anymore, Mr.
Thank
Saeed.
you. Thank
this
you.
blame game is not going to work for Trinidad and Tobago anymore. I am saying in this new regime, we got to put certain things in place to hold certain people accountable. You see, especially in all the government ministries, we have to let the Auditor General's office audit these ministries on a very, very often basis, so that we will know if the money is being prioritized correctly, if it is being spent on what it was supposed to spend on, and if anybody embezzles it, they will also come up with that and hold people accountable for these things. Mr. Saeed, is too long now, Trinidad and Tobago, the workers of the ministries is taking the money and doing what they want with it. We need to put the Auditor General's office into each and every single government ministry of this country, sir. And we must have an audit given to the public as to how the money was spent and how it was prioritized.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Sorry about the cutting, but time is against me. I do apologize sincerely. Now, listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago. All I love this, you know. For the first time in history, Kamala Prasad make history, being appointed the second time as Prime Minister. John Jeremy made history as being appointed the Attorney General 3 times in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, for the first time in history, some residents who once considered a strong People's National Movement territory have switched sides, saying they have found a new hope in the United National Congress. I'll listen to this video.
Probably we needed our awakening. I just hope Andy Kamala, everybody just get along and they do what they have to do and don't sell promises to people, just deliver. No, it will take a while, but they have to deliver. So, you know, up here is a real strong PNM. So the voice of the people is the voice of God.
Trinidad and Tobago, UNC flag hung from apartments of residents who said she decided not to support the PNM after she was called years of neglect. MP elected Dr. Michael Dowlett, who won under the UNC, agreed that the boundaries shifts were a factor. Dowlett claimed that while the PNM ignored their grassroots, he listened to them and addressed basic needs. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. Mouth could say anything. Mouth could say anything. What I want to say is performance. Performance. So like I said, they knew everything about the government. They knew everything about treasuries. They knew everything about ministries in Trinidad and Tobago. They have all the information at hand. So when the new government is sworn in by Saturday, I am hoping by the end of next week, Friday, everyone is familiar with their new office and start to work. Start to work. Put MPs accountable. Give them deadlines. So Trinidad and Tobago, I want to hear. You don't have ties in Guyana. So I want to let her listen this and we go talk after. Listen this.
Congratulations to the UNC, a Caribbean country. The UNC won the elections in Trinidad and Tobago, and I wish to congratulate them. But what was so appealing to me about the elections there is that I saw a video of former Prime Minister Ali and former Prime Minister Stuart Young standing up at their party's headquarters, the PNM's headquarters, at around, I don't know the exact time, maybe around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. on election night, on Monday night. And before the Elections Commission in Trinidad had issued preliminary results, said, we're conceding we lost the elections. Before the preliminary results were announced by the Elections Commission. They then congratulated the UNC.
Trinidad and Tobago, all hear that? All heard that? I thought I alone was watching the results, you know. But the president of Guyana also saw that. Also saw that. Let me tell you something. When you need a change, Vice President of Guyana, I do apologize for that, my mistake. Bar Jagdeo is the Vice President of Guyana. Mr. Ali is the President. I do apologize for that. But Trinidad and Tobago, you as an individual, when you want a change, you get up and you get it. And this is what I always tell people. Your lifestyle depends on you and how you live it and how you work. I have 3 financial institutions in Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? 17, 18, 19 hours a day. Give me that. And this is why I always say on TV or on social media, the day a bandit jump my fence, I am killing you stone dead. When they went after my son, 3 blind, 1 dead. I am a hard-working individual in Trinidad and Tobago, and I will not tolerate nonsense. Don't be a bandit and play a come to rob side. No, I will deal with you. I will deal with you while lighting a light, and if you jump my fence, trust me. It had nothing like, you know, side police will charge you for killing a man in your property, killing your stone dead. And I ask any police, did you all give him permission to jump my fence? No, this property belongs to who? It belongs to Saieed. So 2 o'clock in the morning, what are you doing in my property? Did I give you permission? No. Well, then take where you get. Take where you get. But I have adapted a new method. A new method. You jump my fence. 1 bullet you get in, and then dogs will deal with you. Don't jump my fence. My method has changed. I want you, before you see God, feel the agony. I want you, before you meet God, know to yourself that you jumped the wrong fence. You're getting time to think while you're fighting up with the dog about the decision you make. So when you see God now, you will tell God exactly why you jumped the fence. As I always tell people, I like to give, I like to help, But don't come and rob me. I will deal with you physically or spiritually. You see, when I come at my son, I just like to let the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago understand who is me. When they come at my son, oh, that's outside, couldn't do nothing. He this, he that, he the next. I just deal with ministers in and out of Trinidad and Tobago. I just deal with human beings in and out of Trinidad and Tobago around the globe. Trust me. I didn't just come on TV just so. Marijuana decriminalization. Everybody say, oh, you can't get this thing. Ministers calling, you can't get that side, you can't do this, you can't do that. Boom, shut. And they're like, it. And they're like, it. Oh, Saieed, you can't get this, you can't get that, you can't get it. What happened? You get it. 13 legislations in a year and a half. I got it done for Trinidad and Tobago. You know why? My light have never failed me yet. Now, I haven't got to tell you about light and light, Now, I haven't got to tell you, What has happened at the end of a dark tunnel? What you see? You see a light. Talks on the ground is that when you're here ready to die, what you see? Oh, look, I'm saying something. What you see? You don't see the angel, you don't see the light opening. You think I hereby guess? Jump my fence, and you go see the real side of Saieed. Or cross my line with family, and you will see the real side of Saieed. But you know what I love to do? I love to come here. I came here for the last 8 years, educating and edifying you of what is taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm going to tell you something. When you're getting brown water in your tap, don't just say, well, there's no water, give it. No, you pay for that brown water. You get it. You're supposed to get clear water. Well, then stand up for the right thing. It's that simple. You didn't pay for brown water. You pay for crystal clear water. I believe somebody in Wassa resigned today also. Some chairman in Wassa. I tell you, people start resigning just so I'm going, They just start to resign just so from our side and they're gone. What? Boy, Trinidad and Tobago. It's easy now. Registration from major state organization continues as chairman of the Trinidad and Tobago or the Trinidad Petroleum Holding Limited. Michael Corman has decided to step down all of a sudden after 10 years. Actually, PNM when he wouldn't have stepped down. Let's say something. Say something. In a release today, May 1st, 2025, Pomina said, I am prepared to leave office. I want to express my sincere admiration, appreciation, and gratitude to each of you. This journey had been exciting and fulfilling. Trinidad and Tobago, nevertheless, he resigned and he gone. What about Paria issue? It's still there. After how many years, Paria? 3, 4, 5 years, I believe. People still get the money, yet all the money was promised. Money was promised, and today, nobody get it. But nevertheless, viewers, we are out of time for tonight. It's that time we have to say thank you for tuning in to Real Talk, and we'll be here for the next 8 years. Monday, I'll see you, please God. Until Good night.